Okay, just to make sure you're in the right place, I lost one of my keys on the way here, so we're going to do 3 keys to top independent dealer performance. It said 4. NIADA and I laughed about that. They went to print, and I really wanted to spend some time with you all today and educate. You know, so many times you come to state shows and you come to shows like this, and sometimes it tends to be about the speaker and their company. That's not what this is today. This is about you. A lot of you know who I am. If you don't know who I am, you can read the bio. I come from a very large organization, and I've been at that organization for a very long time. I've held a lot of different positions, and my most favorite position, I had an opportunity to take on a whole new division in this very large company that focuses on one thing. It focuses on you. It focuses on independent dealers. It focuses on everything about you. And I'm very, very fortunate and very, very lucky to have this position because my company is large and we have a lot of money, and we spent a ton of money studying you, studying trends. So I've got some good stuff for you today. I came here to talk about you, not to talk about me, not to talk about my company. Looking back in my career, and knowing what I know from working with franchise dealers, 14 years with this organization, and it's been a great ride, and I've learned a lot, but I got to tell you, I really learned a lot the last 3 years building up this division called Independent Dealer Development. And we did a lot of research, and I'm going to show you some of that research today, and I think it's going to make you think. You know, I came here today to challenge you. I want you to wake up tonight and say, gosh darn it, that Joey Imperato made me think. He made me lose sleep. I really need to think about my business in a different manner. And what I mean by that is, I'm going to ask you a few questions about the group. Let me ask you this. How many people have been in business? This is your first year, because I love NAD. I've been coming here for years. And, I see all different levels of business startups from 30-year businesses. Raise your hand. By a show of hands, you're in less than 2 years. Beautiful. Good for you. You got a lot of guts. I'll tell you that. And I know there's a lot of people going... And you know what? With that big smile, you're not going to lose. Because you're in the right place. You're in the right place right now. You came here to learn. You came here to get yourself educated, and you'll get your business rolling. How about 5? How about 5 years? Good. More than 5. More than 10. Yeah. No kidding, you're at NIADA. More than 15. Love you. 20. You're a dinosaur. Put your hand down. 25. Proud of you. I know that hand ain't coming down over there. 30. Put your hand down. They're going to know your age in a minute. 35. Thank you, sir. Thank you. 40. Beautiful. 39, 40. Beautiful. Fantastic. And there's a lot of different business models, too, at NIADA. I remember when they brought BHPH in, and that was a big year for them. It was a few years back. And how many people are in the buy here, pay here space? I got something for you today. I didn't forget you, okay? I got you covered. I got something for you. I'm going to make you lose some sleep. How about lease here, pay here? It's a big deal in, where are you from, sir? Rhode Island. It's a big deal in Louisiana. They're doing a lot of that lately. Anybody, how about deep subprime? Good. I got something for you. I didn't forget you. Straight retail. A paper. AAA. Okay. A lot of times, these breakout sessions all gear themselves towards one thing. So now you've helped me, because now I can tailor my presentation. My slides are good, but I can tailor my presentation to make sure that you're included in this. Is there anybody, oh man, I'm going to get futuristic on you now. Is there anybody that's dabbling in rideshare? thinking about it. Wow. Trailblazers. Okay? That's some futuristic stuff. And we know that it's moving that way. Okay. All right. Now that we know what we're talking about, I want us to think about our business. And how many people here know a little bit about football? Just a little bit. Okay? Just a little bit. Okay? I don't want to go into a long football discussion. I just want you to do one thing. One of my favorite quarterbacks is Peyton Manning, and he comes out of the huddle, and what he does, they have the play. Okay, the play comes in from the sidelines, up in the tower, all the smart people. You don't have to know football to understand this now. Play gets sent in. Play goes into the huddle. Everybody's ready in the huddle. Okay, this is the play. All we got to do is execute it. Peyton Manning comes out. He looks out into the field. He scans the horizon. And linebackers and people start moving around on him. And what does he do when he sees that these people are going to move around on him and they're going to stuff him up? He calls something. What does he call? Somebody yell it out. He calls an audible. And he yells what? Omaha! Omaha! I'll never forget Omaha. I swear to God, I thought he was going to get a deal with Omaha Steaks. And my friends from Denver know the game that I'm talking about when he beat Tom Brady in the last stand. I was at the game. I had beautiful seats. And I could hear him screaming, Omaha! Omaha! What does Omaha mean? He says a lot of crazy stuff. He'll say cheeseburger, apple pie. He says all kinds of crazy stuff. And after he retired, he confessed most of it meant nothing. Most of it meant nothing. But some of it meant something. What he did was he changed the play. He looked at the landscape and he called an audible. And I'm telling you, there comes a day and a point in space and time when you've got to call an audible in your business. When he scans that field, what he's looking at, that middle linebacker, he'll come out, and if you hear him yell out, the mic is 52. Anybody know what the mic is? Oh, I'm going a little deep on you now. The mic M stands for middle linebacker. Sam is the strong side linebacker. Will is the weak side linebacker. There's three of these guys. They move around and they dictate the defense. Let me tell you something. Mike is your inventory. He's moving around. That inventory's moving around, okay? Sam, that's your pricing strategy. You've got to worry about that. You've got to be on top of that. You've got to make audibles on that. You've got to do this often, okay? Will is your aging, okay, and your market. You've got to understand your market. You've got to understand the changes in the market. And when you do that, you're going to go to work tomorrow. You're going to wake up tonight and go, Omaha! I hope you do. I hope you do, and I hope you go back and look at your inventory and say, Omaha, oh my goodness, things are moving, the market's changing, things are shifting. I don't care if I'm BHPH, LHPH, I don't care. Things are shifting. We got to do that. Now, some of us chase the market, AAA, A paper, straight retail. Some of us set the market, right? Buy here, pay here, lease here, pay here. You've got some advantages. You can do some things that I'm going to talk about and raise the percentages, and we'll get to that. So what I've done in the last 3 years is I boiled this down to three. I really have four, so if I come to your state shows, I speak at a lot of state shows. If I come to your state shows, I'll have a fourth key for you. But I really wanted to park it today where I really feel that we need the most help. Because we've done all the research, and I've got all the answers from third-party companies that my company pays a lot of money to. And I will tell you this, the number one issue that all of you have out there, okay? And I got to tell you, sidebar, I've got so much respect for the people in this building because I got to tell you, I fancy myself as a bit of a gambler. And the gamblers aren't out on the strip. The gamblers aren't at the crap table right now yelling. The gamblers aren't pulling the slots in the high limit room. The gamblers are right here. You're the gambler. You're the one throwing your hat in the ring every day. You're the one putting your money on the line. Let me tell you something. In this long, illustrious career that I've had, I had a lot of fun. And it was pretty easy for me to go out and sell to franchise dealers. Somebody tell me why. It wasn't their money. I was known as a bit of a closer, but I danced around all the franchises. It's easy to spend other people's money, isn't it? It's a lot harder when you're throwing your hat into the ring. And I got a lot of respect for that. So I boiled this down. Oh, by the way, the number one complaint, the number one issue that you have by far, far and away, it's a steep drop-off after this. Joey, I can't find the cars that I need. Raise your hand if that's your issue. Come on now. We need to talk. Joey, when I do find the cars that I need, I can't get them at the prices that I want to pay for them. Whoa. Whoa. We got to get on that, and we're going to get on that with the 3 keys to independent performance. Let me tell you what you do here. And I want you, and I'm so glad you raised your hand, and I want you to really pay attention to these first couple of slides, because I didn't say it. Pablo Picasso said it. Good artist copy. Great artists steal. Performance varies widely. Okay, 2/3 of independent dealerships report that their business performance is staying level or it's declining. What does that mean? Yet 34% say that they're doing better. And I'll guarantee you a lot of the 34% is in this room. This is the tale of 2 stories. It's a tale of good news, bad news. Now, I'm no economist. There's plenty of economists here at NIADA that you can go and listen to their breakout sessions. But I do play an economist on TV. So let me tell you what I do know, okay? You're in a good spot right now, believe it or not. Bad news. I'll start with the bad news. Bad news is it's becoming harder and harder and harder to find cars, especially seasonally. So it's becoming very, very hard to find the right used cars. But the good news is, because of rising costs on the new car side, used cars are up right now, and they have been, not by a lot now, by a few percentage points, but used car sales are up. You've got to be able to pounce on that, and you've got to be able to be very strategic, and you've got to be able to use some operational audibles in order to do that. And I'm going to put you in a position where you walk out of here and you could do that. But you're going to have to make some wholesale changes, and that's what's going to make you wake up and go, Omaha! Okay? All right. So here's the deal. How do we become, I don't want to be on the 66% side of this pie. I want to be on the 34%. So where do I go? What do I do? I listen to Picasso. I steal. I get with the winners. I do it. You're doing it. I'm preaching to the choir here today. I get that. I understand that. But you've got to do this. Well, Joey, where do I go? Where do I steal? How do I steal? You're doing it right now. You're in the breakout sessions. You're coming. Go to your state show. Get in a 20 group. Get next to dealers that are just like you and figure it out and ask questions. And don't ever be afraid to ask questions. Don't ever be afraid to learn. And don't ever be afraid to not copy and take it to the next level and steal it. Here's your 3 top independent dealer performance keys: sourcing, merchandising, and pricing. Number 1 is sourcing. I'll add retailing when I come to your state, by the way. Number 1 is sourcing. Now, I want to park it here for a little bit, because I want you to understand some things about sourcing before we ever get into it. We want to get into the metrics. We have to understand the metrics. I'm telling you this. Hear me now. Believe me later. You control these 3 metrics. You control your destiny. The first one, market days supply. If I had one metric and I were starting a business today, if I could only have one metric, it would be market days supply. But it has to be the right market day supply. It can't be voodoo market day supply. And I will coach you to, there's plenty of organizations out there that throw around these terms, and I will coach you how to go in there and know that you're getting true market day supply. Number 2, cost to market. You control your cost to market, you're controlling your destiny. Joey, what's my cost to market? It's simple. Your cost to market is a percentage. It's a percentage of what you own your vehicles, all in now, no voodoo on me. What you own your vehicles for, all in, as opposed to what the retail asking price is, adjusted towards miles. You need it adjusted. Okay? Again, we can't have it done halfway. If you're going to do this and you're going to understand these metrics, you got to go all in, and you've got to understand that. And then the last one is price to market. Your price to market is the same thing. It's a percentage as to where you are pricing your vehicles as to opposed to what the retail asking price is. Now, my BHPH and my LHPH dealers, you get to control this a little bit more. My straight retail dealers, you don't have that luxury. And I'm not so sure that it's such a luxury for my BHPH friends and my LHPH friends. Not so sure. Because you still have to be very, very cautious, and you still have to be very, very strategic when you do this. But you'll be able to raise that, because people, everywhere I go, people say, okay, Joey, you're so smart. Tell me what the number is. What's the percentage? Your cost to market, 85%. What? Yep, 85%. Believe it. Believe it. All the top independent dealers in this country are getting their cars at 85%. Am I saying they're getting them all there? No. I'm saying their inventory, average it out, 85%. That's the number. Get there. Use the tools. Use the technology that's available outside these doors to help you do it, because it's out there. Again, you got to make a couple wholesale changes. This ain't going to be easy. All right. Next. Price to market. What's it supposed to be, Joey? 95% and tapering down. Tapering. When should we taper it, Joey? You should look at it every 7 days. What? Yep. Every 7 days. You can get there. Now, don't get scared. Don't get scared. You can start at 15. You can start at 12. But you got to start looking at that. Remember, your inventory was who? In the analogy earlier. He was the middle linebacker. He's moving around. Okay? You've got to make sure you're on top of that. If you're on top of that inventory every 10 days, 15 days, and you're watching the market and you're watching the movement, you can make that audible call and you can win. Okay? Real simple. So those are your figures. Okay, let's talk about the big one now. Market day supply. Market day supply, succinctly stated, is going to tell us if our car is a stud or a dud. I need to know. Am I going to have all studs? No, I'm sorry. It doesn't work that way. I'm going to have some duds. I'm going to have to take in some trades. What am I going to do? Somebody comes in to trade on a vehicle. They come to your store. They come to trade on a vehicle. You're going to walk out there and say, well, I'm sorry, sir, but I went to see Mr. Joey Imperato's breakout, and your market day supply is bad, and we're not going to take it. Really? Really? Can't do it, right? We got to take it. We got to make a deal. We got to negotiate. So let's do it. But I will tell you this. If your market day supply is high, you've got a dud, so you know that you have to be very aggressive on that trade, and you know that you have to price that car very aggressively once you get it. So now you know what you're doing. So you may take that dud, but when you do, you're going to do it with your eyes wide open. Okay? If your market day supply is low, guess what? You get to gross that vehicle. You deserve to gross that vehicle. Okay? High gross is not a cuss word. Okay? It's a way of doing business. Sometimes you give them away, right? You're not a thief when that happens. As soon as you make a good gross on a car, you're the bad guy? No, you're the good business person. And the way that you do that is you buy the vehicles right and you get them out of the gate and you source them. You got to be able to source the inventory, but you can't do it alone. There's still people out there that are doing it alone. You got to assess every car. Top performing dealers make data focused assessments on each and every vehicles. What do you mean by that, Joey? Let me tell you something. I have some of the best guts in the industry out here this afternoon. You got great guts. You've been in it 30, 40 years. You've been going, standing in lane. You've been feeling them, touching them, smelling them for a long time. You need to add some science to that gut. You need to add some data to that gut. and it's out there, it's outside these doors. You've got to be able to say, hey, it's time for some technology. It's time for some tools. What are these tools? What are the technology? I'm not going to tell you that. Again, I didn't come up here to do a commercial. I came up here to tell you what to look for, not where to look for it. It's out there. You can find it. Okay? So the first thing, the vehicle financials. We got to know that cost to market. Compare the cost of acquiring a vehicle to its likely retail asking price. Does the difference leave you enough room to make gross? And then I want you to look over to the third side, not the market day supply. Do you have to give up a little gross to acquire the vehicle? Does it still make sense? That gets back to my point. Is every car going to come in at 85%? No. You're doing real good with a particular vehicle, the same exact vehicle. Now, we've got to make sure, same make, same trim. Got to make sure that. Don't make that mistake. I'll step up. Step up maybe to 88, 90. Sometimes you can go 92, and I know that there's guys out there that are successful saying, hey, Joey, I'm buying at 89% or 101%, 102% MMR. Okay. I'm okay with that. But really what I'm more concerned with what is my cost to market? I don't want to live in that land of MMR because I need to know the market day supply. Without that, I don't know if that car is moving quickly or it's not moving quickly. I need to know the travel rate of the vehicle. And the only way that I can know the travel rate of that vehicle, if I can get away from cheap voodoo math and small little companies that say, well, I have these metrics. You do? Where are you getting them? I need to know. Because I need to be with a company, and I'm coaching you here now, I need to be with a company that sees the entire market. Not half of it, not a quarter of it, not a couple of websites. I need the company and companies that see the whole thing. Because that way I know that I have a true cost to market. Because how do I know what the market is when I'm only seeing half of it? Are you with me? Does that make sense? That should make a lot of sense to you. Okay, moving on. Once you understand the metrics, once you have these metrics, it's real simple. We got to expand our reach. We're fishermen. You're fishermen. You're fishing in the same ponds. You're over here and you're telling me about all your favorite auctions. I'm out there. I listen to it all day long. I talk to dealers like you. There isn't a day that goes by, Monday through Friday, there isn't a day that goes by that I don't talk to at least 5 people just like you. Or visit. I'm all over. I'm national. Okay? I didn't explain my title and my company and all this stuff on purpose. I'm national. I'm in California last week. I'll be in Utah next week. I was in Detroit 4 days ago. And 5 days before that, I was in Jersey. Okay? And then after that, I'll be in California. I like to do that. I like to do that East Coast run right now, though, before that snow hits. But I'm all over the place, and I'm sitting across from people just like you, and we're talking about these things. Okay, you got to stop fishing in the same honey hole. This is why you say, "Well, geez, Joey, hey, nobody says I had a bad March." I was going to say March. Joey, I had a bad May. Nobody has a bad March. I swear. The more I go around and talk to independents, some of them, nobody in here, I'm sure, but some of them base their whole business on tax time. You can't start a business based on a month and a half of business. Give me a hall pass. I got to figure out how to sustain through the years. And I can't sustain through the years by fishing in a honey hole, pulling up some cars, and then holding on to them for 3 months. I can't do that. Unless I have an unlimited amount of cash, and I stand corrected. Anybody here have an unlimited amount of cash? Okay, because I was going to come and see you after the show and get a loan. All right, expand our reach. Here's the reality. Independent dealers, and this is again from research that we've done. Independent dealers go to 8 auctions per month. Personally, I think that's too many. Don't get scared. Again, don't get scared. there's solutions, there's tools. Okay? Independent dealers that are saying that we're tapering off or we're staying the same are getting 55% of their vehicles at physical auctions and 45% online. I think that number's inflated. I think it's even higher. 60, 70%. That's not the way that's not going to sustain. That'll get you that heartbeat monitor look with your dealership. Good month, bad month. Last year, why was May good and why was it bad this month? I don't understand. So what's the first thing that dealers do, what I find? They call their buddies. Hey, Tim, I'm 20 miles away from you. How you doing? Oh, you stink too? Oh, great. Goodbye. It's the area. And that's your answer? Really? Get out of there. Expand your reach. Get away from there. Buy where they're not. People tell me all the time, I'll use Denver as an example. Geez, Joey, I'm trying to buy all-wheel drive Subarus and they're through the roof. Really? No kidding. Go to Dallas where nobody cares about them and they're giving them away and you can absorb all those costs, including transportation. But you didn't know that because you didn't have any technology that could tell you that. Joey, I need four-wheel drive trucks. You know the snow's coming, and I'm in New Jersey. No kidding. Go to Riverside. They're giving them away. And you're going to ship them all over, all the way across the country, and you're still going to win. But you didn't have the technology. You didn't have the tools. You didn't have the answer. And you didn't apply your knowledge and your gut. You know what you want. You know what your business model is. And you know you can keep your business model and still call an audible. You just got to start thinking about, hey now, what is my reach? What really is my reach? What is my limit? Here's another one. Got guys that tell me, hey Joey, I'm going to go and go to Vegas. Everybody loves to go to Vegas. If you've ever been to Vegas, to the auction. Joey, I'm going to go to Vegas. And I'm going to go to the auction because they give me a free room. They take care of me. They shuttle me over there. Come on, man. I've been there a million times. I've seen the whole deal. People go there like to have fun. It just cost you $570 to go there, and that's if you didn't play. I hope you had a good night on the craps table because you're already down a G before the auction ever even started. Why? That's old school. That's old school mentality. Call the audible. Get the tools. You could be looking on 3 screens and doing this stuff and watching multiple lanes and plucking cars like candy bars. Yet I can't find no cars today. I can't find no cars, Joey. Somebody tell me, not you, Tim. Somebody tell me how many cars are for sale today because I have the exact number. Where's Richie? Thank you, Rich. Pulled it up live today from one of his tools. Somebody guess, please. Throw me a number. Tim, don't you say a word. 17,500. So 17,500. Okay. 218,000. Anybody else? This is like, come on, let's have an auction here. Come on, you guys like auctions? Anybody? One more. 100,000. You were close. But you were off by 101,000. 301,000 cars for sale today. Yesterday it was 340. That was odd to me on a Tuesday. 301,000 cars. But Joey, the number one issue I have is I can't find the cars that I need. How can you not find the cars that you need when there's 301,000 cars for sale today? How would you like to, what if there was a way? What if there was a way to assess every one of those cars? What if there was a way to go in there and run an appraisal on each and every one of them? Wouldn't you like to do that? How long would that take you? Come on, Joey, I could barely get through pre-sale inventory. I could barely get through advanced power search. I can't even get out of Mannheim to go to Odessa. I mean, come on, forget about Edge Pipeline. Who has time? Really? What if there was technology and tools that would do it for you and serve cars up to you that met a plan that you had? What if there was that? I'm telling you, look for that. Look outside these doors. It's available. It's available today. We're going to source more in less time. Let's talk about efficiencies for a second. Efficiencies are just... When I walk in live into dealerships and I see some of their efficiencies and I say, what is your strategy? Please tell me, what is your sourcing strategy? What is your acquisition strategy? And what is your pricing strategy? Because I got to tell you something, acquisition is the most important thing you will ever do as a dealer. So there's clue number one for you. You put all your time, effort, and energy, and you participate in that. I talk to people, yeah, we got 3 buyers that do that. Really? You're not in control of that? Somehow, some way? I'm not saying don't get 3 buyers. Please, I'm not saying that. If you have that model, don't say, oh, I would like to hit Joey in the head with a football and tell him Omaha. Okay? If that's your strategy, that's okay, but I want you to be in control of that strategy. You've got to control your destiny, not other people. When you start doing that, I'm telling you, I've seen it a million times, failed businesses. Not failed, bad months. Why are we having a bad month? Because you're not in control. You're not in control. Be a control freak. What's the difference between a AAA baseball player and one that's in the pros, knocking out home runs, hitting 340? Isn't that amazing in baseball? You can hit 300, and that means you failed 70% of the time, and you're going to the All-Star game. What's the difference, though, of a guy in AAA? I'll tell you what it is. It's fundamentals. They pound the fundamentals, and they're obsessed with fundamentals. Why are there great shooters in the NBA? Because they shoot 500 shots before every single game. Think about it. They're working fundamentals. You've got to work the fundamentals. This is stuff that you already know. And I know you know it, but I'll tell you what, you're going to wake up tonight and go, oh my goodness, I need a steak from Omaha. Here we go. Successful dealers, researching, prepping, attending auctions, cutting and pasting. Like I said, pre-sale inventory, advanced power search, Odessa. Where am I going? What auction am I at? I'm going to go to Greensboro. Am I in Odessa? What, am I going to ABC? Oh. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what the good dealers do. They spend less time, 30% less time, researching and prepping for auction. 16.1 hours a week. 23 hours is what the dealers that are leveling off are doing. And guess what? They're only coming up with 15% of the cars. So your high-performing independent dealers are researching less time and they're coming away with more vehicles. Your top-performing dealers use technology and tools to guide their sourcing efforts. And I want to give you a couple more. And I want to end on this with sourcing because I'll say this. Sourcing and acquisition has a really, really, really deep place in my heart in this industry as I've done my travels because it is clutch. Is it not, Betty? It is clutch. And you've got to master it, and you've got to master the fundamentals. Let me give you a couple more very, very important metrics. And if you've got these metrics, you are going to win. First, market day supply. You need to see it. You need to see it quick, and it can't be voodoo. What's voodoo again? Somebody who's not seeing everything. Let's find out how these metrics are calculated. Okay? Next, I really, really need to know this. I really need to know in the whole market. Okay? And remember, each car has its own market. In the whole market for that vehicle, what is the average asking price? And what are the average asking miles? I need to know that. I'll throw one more at you. Those 3 are huge. Those 3 are clutch. I'll throw another one that I would love to have if I could. It'd be a scarcity index. Be a scarcity index. What the heck is that, Joey? Scarcity index is simply stated, you have to look in a DMA. And it's going to tell you if that car, if there are a lot or a little bit of those cars, okay? And it's going to tell you if that car's getting a good, bad, or indifferent activity on the web. Are people clicking on it? And are there a lot of them or are there a little of them? Right? And sometimes scarcity index, in and of itself, can be voodoo. Why? Because the DMA for scarcity is set up, and it's set up by Nielsen's. And it can be a small area. So what you might want to do is check into that and grow that scarcity. So if you understand a lot about scarcity index, talk to me about that. If you don't, that's okay. Start learning. These are the things that you want to start learning. These are the tools that you have to put in your bag. I got to tell you, and I'll end with this, just on point one. You could have the best sales force. You could have the best sales team. You could have the greatest wife who does the back end of the business and runs the numbers, or just a great person that does that for you, a good money person watching the money. You could have a great recon process. I'll talk about that. You could have just a beautiful front line, your detail people. Everything is perfect in your store. Your marketing plan, you're digitally ready. You've got it all down pat. You buy the car wrong and you're sunk. You're dead and you deserve to die. And the smaller your dealership is, the more it'll kill you. You've got 20 cars on the lot and you've made one or two bad buys, that'll bury you. But wait a second. I work for, I don't care, Bob Rohrman in Chicago. He only owns 36 stores and every one of them's got 150 cars. I can hide all kinds of sins there. Call myself a used car manager. You can't do that because it's your hat in the ring and you're the gamblers in Las Vegas today. So what am I doing? All the great gamblers, by the way, in Las Vegas. Like I said, I fancy myself as a bit of a gambler myself. And the good gamblers, I like to bet on sports. You know what they do? They call the guys in Vegas. There's guys in this town, you probably don't know this. If you do, you're a degenerate like me. But there's guys in this town that sit there and read screens all day and they pick games for you and you call them up and you pay them a fee and they say, I've got the winner of the game because I've done the analytics. And they do it day in and day out and they live in mansions up the mountain. And they're really good at it. And do you know how they got really good at it? By using tools and technology. It's amazing, isn't it? No, it's not amazing at all. It's not amazing at all when you have the analytics. And the analytics are true. Because you could call one of these guys. There's a lot of phonies. There's a lot of voodoo guys giving picks out there. I like the Bulls. I like the Sixers. I like the Bears. I like the Packers. Really? How did you come up with it? The people with the best analytics that see it all win. And I don't care if we're talking about sports gambling in Vegas, and I don't care if we're talking about gambling, real life gambling, your families, your legacy on the line. Let's get it right. Let's get it right. Let's wake up in that sleep tonight and say, I'm going to do something different about the way I source. I'm going to do something different about the way that I go out and buy. What are you going to do today? What's your buying strategy? Joey, I'm going to get me some SUVs. Really, sir? What kind of SUVs? I've been buying cars for 30 years. I know which SUVs I'm getting. I'm getting me Highlanders. Really? How'd you come to that conclusion? Joey, don't play with me. Joey, I sold 5 Highlanders last month. No kidding. So you're going to go buy Highlanders then today, huh? Yep. I'm going to go. If I got to go to 3 auctions, I'll drive the 5 states. I'm going to get me some Highlanders. Which one? Don't Ralph Cramden me. Hummina. Which one? The SE. Really? What if the XLE was better? What year? I like to stay between 12 and 14s. Well, how do you know which year exactly? And if you're going to buy the 2012 XLE or the 2013 SE? You don't, do you? Because you don't have any analytics. Your only analytics where you sold 5 of them last month. Once again, somebody buy me a hall pass. Come on now. Am I sounding a little bit familiar? Number 2, merchandising. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on merchandising. Did I drive home acquisition enough? Any questions? Does anybody have any questions on acquisition? Okay. Okay. Merchandising. Merchandising your inventory. This is simple. Questions? I would love to see you afterwards, and I'll answer that question. Okay, I'll give you some companies, because when I talk to dealers, I don't just say V-Auto. I'm not biased like that. There's a lot of dealers that can't start with certain tools, because when you're talking about the creme de la creme and the very best, it can get costly. And I got to tell you, sometimes you have to grow into things like that, and that's what I do all day long. And you know what? Because I know that if I do things the right way, the right thing will always happen to me and my organization, and those customers will always. I have people calling me every day that I sent to another company and saying, "Hey, Joey, I'm ready. I want to take the splash. I want to take the plunge." So great question, sir. Merchandising your inventory. Let's get on it. Post online sooner. Top performing dealers, they don't post within days. They do it within hours. Come on, Joey. Nobody does that. I just bought a car at Mannheim. What do? You take a picture of it. Come on, Joey. That's some hogwash. I'm going to see a fence. I'm going to see some telephone wires. No, you're not. There's technology out there that can put some beautiful photo backgrounding behind that for you. Look into it. Okay? Look into it. Okay, beating the competition to the punch can make the difference between winning and losing a sale. I've got dealers that tell me they take 7 to 10 days. 7 to 10 days to get their cars posted. Let's talk about 7 to 10 days to get your car posted. You know what you're doing? You're killing yourself. Then you're going to tell me about your gross on the 100th day. I made $3,000, Joey, on that car. Really? What day did you sell it on? Day 100? No, you didn't, sir. Somebody tell me the voodoo math. How much did they really make? Nothing. They broke even. Do you know why? Because NADA tells us that the average holding cost is $30 a day. Now, if you're selling smaller vehicles, don't get me wrong, it could be about $28, $27, $26. If you're selling $7,000, $8,000 rigs, you're selling $15,000 rigs, it's going to get up there, $32, $33. You're selling high-end luxury rigs, you're getting into $40 a day. So it took you 10 days to get it out of recon? Oh, please. Let me tell you this, and I'll say this very quickly. Some of the hottest new technology available today is managing and taking care and taking ownership of your recon process and being strategic about it and using technology in order to do it and to track your vendors. Because I got to tell you something, your vendors are in control of your recon process, not you. And when you take control of that, and you could do this for very, very little money, you could be the smallest dealer in here for pennies. You can do this. And you can do this very, very effectively, and you can take charge of your recon. Here's how recon works today in a lot of stores. The recon guy comes around, the scratch and dent guy comes around and says, I'm going to take that car, and that car. And it's gone for how long? I don't know. I know it's getting fixed, though. Really? Do you think your f***ing company cares? Because the day you raise your hand and the day that gavel dropped, you're paying curtailment. You're paying curtailments and you're getting killed. Don't tell me you grossed $3,000 when it took you 100 days, okay? At $30 a day, you broke even. Let me tell you something. Gross never paid the bills. Gross never kept any dealership open. I want to talk about net. Top performing dealers are more efficient in their merchandising. So let's merchandise, let's take back over our recon process. And again, there's companies outside this store that'll do it for you, and they'll do it for you rather cheap. It's the hottest, latest, greatest thing right now in the marketplace. Last, my favorite, pricing. Let me get to it for you, Lori. Base your prices on the market. We talked about all this stuff, so now I'm going to bring it full circle. So this should be rather easy for you, or it should present some questions, and I'll have some time for Q&A. Top performing dealers use market-focused pricing. The days of applying a standard markup are all over. How do you price your cars? I still do it. I still see it. Well, Joey, I buy them so good. I buy them back of MMR and I just throw $3,000 on it. And then after 30 days, I'll take an arbitrary nickel off of it. Really? Come on now. You don't care what the market's doing. You don't care what the car's doing. This is what's causing aging. We've got to manage our time. We've got to be efficient. We've got to manage our age, and we've got to manage that inventory. If you can do that, and you could do that using these tools, using any tool, there's so many tools out there that are available. You don't have to go with one certain organization. You just got to start thinking about which way am I going to do this, and how am I going to do this, and how is that investment going to pay off for me? You got to adjust your prices. I talked about it, 7 days, 10 days. Don't worry. Don't be scared. Come on, hold my hand. Come on out onto the ledge with me. We'll start at 12, 15 days, and we can go ahead and start doing this. And you can watch your turn going round and around and around. You've got to use the price adjustments can entice the buyer's interest and maximize your profit. How do I do it, Joey? Know the 3 key metrics. Your SRP to VDP ratio. It's a very important ratio, so I'll explain it for people that are here for less than a year. Your SRP is simply a search results page. It's like a gigantic voting machine. Your car got a vote. Somebody opened up a page on Auto Trader. Somebody opened up a page on Gurus, Cars, opened up, and they saw your car on a page. Usually there's 25 cars on a page. So you get a vote for an SRP. Just like a gigantic voting machine is the easiest way I could explain it. Your VDP, this is the one I'm interested in. Your VDP is your vehicle detail page. So your vehicle detail page is they clicked into the vehicle and are looking at the vehicle. So in the virtual world, how I could explain it to you is an SRP is a drive-by. Somebody drove by your lot. You don't have a warehouse. Somebody drove by your lot, saw your car out there, boom, took a look and went, VDP, they pulled into the lot, opened up the door, checked to see if it smells like dog or if they like the interior. You understand that? So that ratio is very important. Okay, Joey, what's the ratio? 2.5. I'm not going to play with you. 2.5 or better. I really like 3 or 4. So now you take your Cars.com rep, you take your Gurus rep, and you put them on the carpet. And you tell them I want to know what my SRP to VDP ratio is. And if it's less than that, I want to know why. What they're going to do is piggyback off of you and tell you you have a pricing deficiency, though, so be careful. Market day supply, is it moving up or is it moving down? If it's moving down, I'm loving it, okay? If it's moving up, we got trouble in River City. We got to get aggressive. We got to start moving. And then our VDP engagement. You're going to love this. I've got dealers that do this now. Now, don't try this trick at home unless you're ready for a little battle. If you like the battle, you'll love this. If you can track this, and again, you've got tools and technology that will do this for you, and it'll show a spike in your VDPs. When you make a price change, boom, your price goes down, your VDPs go up. You've just found the sweet spot. Your phone starts ringing, okay, on Friday. You've made that price change. You see your VDP activity. Do you know what you do as a dealer to that car, to that price? You raise it. It's Friday. You raise the price. What happened Saturday morning? Will somebody please tell me? Remember, I told you got to have thick skin for this one. Somebody's going to call. Somebody's going to be real mad, aren't they? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Somebody's going to say, you crook! You raised the price on that car! And you just sit back and go, no. That's some kind of mistake by the internet. Come on in. We'll honor that price. Come on down. How about that? Now, you be careful with that. You like that too much. But that is pretty neat stuff. I'm not saying do that, everybody. That's not for everybody, because then you're going to get a bad review, and then you got to fight the review off or make the customer happy. I just want to have a little bit of fun with you to let you know how fun this industry is, how fun this business is when you take control of it again. How fun this industry is when you start employing these tools, these technologies. How fun all of this can be when you do this, okay? This is fun. This business is fun. It's challenging. It's challenging. I got some superstar dealers in here. Thank you for showing up. I know you know most of these things, and some of the best. And I would tell you this. I would submit to you this. You get with these superstars. They can't wait to share their business model with you. Unless, of course, you're in their town. They will run from you. But they can't wait to help you. All of these superstar dealers over here had somebody, they were you one day. They were you one day. And they had somebody in their lives that helped them. I promise you, listen to their stories. Unless they've had a couple glasses of whiskey, it's all them. But seriously, they will all tell stories how somebody came along and helped them. And I got to say this. You've helped yourselves. And I thank you so much for listening. And I thank you so much for supporting NIADA. What a great job that Sean and Steve and staff have done with this over the years. And I've seen it grow, and I've watched it grow. And a lot of you know, because a lot of you were here even before I came around. And you made this what it is today. Support your state shows. Get with a 20 group. I'm not an advocate for a 20 group. I don't work for one. But I know this. I know your 20 groups will tell you and coach you and help you and point you, and then they'll answer questions like you have. Hey, listen, if I can't stomach company A, or to your point, I'll just use brand A. I don't need to do a commercial, but I appreciate that. But if I can't afford brand A, what's the best brand B? Help me out. I'd love to do that, but I can't. So just help me, and they will gladly help you and tell you their story and help you along. Get with somebody that does business like you. If you're buy here, pay here, don't go talking to AAA paper over here. If you're lease here, pay here, you got to go and find a place where lease here, pay here makes sense. But I would encourage you to do this. Fall back in love with your business. Fall back in love with your company. Go back home and, tell your employees how much you appreciate them. And get back to work and take control of your business and take control of your recon and take control of your pricing and walk out onto that field and watch those linebackers move and scan that landscape and you yell Omaha. You hear me? Thank you. Thank you.